The popular opinion among most of us is that exports are good and imports are bad. We celebrate exporting companies and secretly frown upon importing companies, assuming they harm the economy. I have sat in hundreds of economics classes both in school and university. I have also read several books on economics. To this day, I haven't learned anything remotely to suggest that exports are better than imports. So, is banning and discouraging imports a good idea? That's what you and I are going to find out in this video. Why does a country import? There are two reasons. As consumers, we can obtain products at a lower price from another country. That's why we have so many imports from China. Certain products are cheaper to import than manufactured in Sri Lanka. That's the first reason. The second reason is that we can consume products we cannot source locally. From phones to laptops to machines, we can consume many products that are not manufactured in Sri Lanka. As John Stuart Mill pointed out, foreign trade's benefit lies in imports, not exports. A country needs exports to earn enough foreign currency to import products that we don't manufacture or can't afford at a lower price. We export so that we have enough dollars to import. It's not the other way around. From time to time, governments have banned imports, so they have tried to control imports. Some of their reasons are boosting domestic production or very recently stopping the leakage of foreign currency. On the surface, these arguments sound logical, but to understand the real impact of such decisions, you need to dig deeper than the surface level. Let's understand what happens when a country bans imports. First, most importing businesses will go out of business. This can cost the livelihood of owners, employees, and their family members. Not only that, their purchasing power dwindles when they are not earning any money. It's going to affect the other local businesses as well. Another problem is that trade partners from other countries can take action against us. What does this mean? We need to both sell and buy when we are engaged in foreign trade. Imagine we have a trade agreement with another country. If we only exported to them and stopped importing from them, they would lose their export income from our country. They don't like it. They can stop buying from us and we can lose our export income. The next problem is import controls create shortages which inflate prices. The most recent example is vehicle prices in Sri Lanka. Another blow is to the consumers. When there are import controls, we don't have the economic freedom to consume what we want. You realize that most of the products are missing in the market. One of the reasons for controlling imports is to boost domestic production, but most domestic products heavily rely on intermediate goods. For example, the domestic food industry relies on many imported goods. That's why most of the items on restaurant menus are missing lately. The final blow is to the economy's resource misallocation. The goal of an economy is to allocate scarce resources with alternative uses. A country should manufacture products that have a comparative advantage. If we take the recent ban on importing turmeric, some could argue that it helped to boost domestic turmeric production. Before the ban, Sri Lanka imported most of its turmeric from India. India has a comparative advantage in producing turmeric over Sri Lanka. So we should buy turmeric from India and allocate our resources to make something that Sri Lanka has a comparative advantage. Right now, consumers are forced to pay a higher price for turmeric when we can source for a lower price from India. Right, so those are the costs of controlling imports. Politicians make economic decisions only focusing on the short run, but the long run economic impact can be damaging. Or they try to save one industry like the turmeric farmers, but in the end, as consumers, we have to pay a higher price for inefficiency. That's also the number one lesson of economics. For every decision, there are short-term and long-term consequences. So, what is the solution? Let's go back to John Stuart Mill's justification of foreign trade. A country exports so that it can import. If a country imports a lot and exports are too little, it shouldn't limit its imports. Instead, they should focus on increasing exports, and that goes for Sri Lanka as well. Instead of focusing on limiting imports, we need to focus on expanding exports. That's the end of this lesson. Thank you so much for watching. This video is a part of a series about Sri Lankan economy and the 2022 economic crisis. I'm doing this for you as much as for me because we need to have a basic understanding of economics. If not, we would end up in another economic crisis. This is the next step of the Aragalaya is to educate ourselves. So until my next video, keep crushing it.